Imagine waking up one morning to find that your entire computer system has been taken hostage by a malicious entity, demanding a hefty ransom in exchange for the safe return of your precious data. This is the harsh reality that many individuals and organizations face in the wake of a devastating cyber attack. But here's where it gets even more alarming. A new strain of ransomware, dubbed HybridPetya, has been discovered, and it's capable of bypassing the secure boot mechanism in Unified Extensible Firmware Interface, UEFI systems, using a now-patched vulnerability disclosed earlier this year. This exploit, known as CVE 2024-7344, has a CVSS score of 6.7, making it a significant threat to modern UEFI-based systems. Cybersecurity researchers at Slovakian cybersecurity company ESET have been studying this new ransomware strain, which bears a striking resemblance to the notorious Petya NotPetya malware. However, HybridPetya has some notable differences, including its ability to compromise modern UEFI-based systems by installing a malicious EFI application onto the EFI system partition. But what exactly does this mean, and how does it work? Let's dive deeper into the world of HybridPetya and explore its inner workings. HybridPetya encrypts the master file table, MFT, which contains crucial metadata about all the files on NTFS formatted partitions. This is a critical component of the Windows operating system, and by encrypting it, the attackers can render the system unusable. The deployed UEFI application is the central component that takes care of encrypting the MFT file, which contains metadata related to all the files on the NTFS formatted partition. But here's the interesting part. HybridPetya comes with two main components, a bootkit and an installer. The bootkit, which is deployed by the installer, is chiefly responsible for loading its configuration and checking its encryption status. It can have three different values: 0, indicating that it's ready for encryption, 1, indicating that it's already encrypted, and 2, indicating that the ransom has been paid and the disk has been decrypted. If the value is set to 0, the bootkit proceeds to set the flag to 1 and encrypts the EFI Microsoft Boot Verify file with the Salsa 20 encryption algorithm, using the key and nonce specified in the configuration. But that's not all. It also creates a file called EFI Microsoft Boot Counter on the EFI system partition prior to launching the disk encryption process of all NTFS formatted partitions. This file is used to keep track of the already encrypted disk clusters. And this is the part most people miss. The bootkit updates the fake CHKDSK message displayed on the victim screen with information about the current encryption status, while the victim is deceived into thinking that the system is repairing disk errors. If the bootkit detects that the disk is already encrypted, i.e. the flag is set to 1, it serves a ransom note to the victim, demanding them to send $1,000 in Bitcoin to the specified wallet address. But what's even more intriguing is that the ransom note screen also provides an option for the victim to enter the deception key purchased from the operator after making the payment, following which the bootkit verifies the key and attempts to decrypt the EFI Microsoft Boot Verify file. In the event the correct key is entered, the flag value is set to 2, and the decryption step is initiated by reading the contents of the EFI Microsoft Boot Counter file. But here's the question. Can we really trust that the attackers will provide the decryption key after the ransom is paid? The answer is uncertain, and it's a risk that many victims are not willing to take. The decryption phase also involves the bootkit recovering the legitimate bootloaders, EFI boot bootx64.efi and EFI Microsoft Boot bootmgfw EFI from the backups previously created during the installation process. Once this step is complete, the victim is prompted to reboot their Windows machine. But what about the controversy surrounding secure boot bypasses? Some argue that they are becoming more common and attractive to both researchers and attackers. Others claim that they are still relatively rare and that the benefits of Secure Boot outweigh the risks. The debate is ongoing, and it's essential to consider both sides of the argument. Select variants of HybridPetya have been found to exploit CVE 2024-7344, a remote code execution vulnerability in the HowYar Reloader UEFI application that could result in a Secure Boot bypass. The variant also packs in a specially crafted file named cloak.dat, which is loadable through reloader.efi and contains the XOR bootkit binary. Microsoft has since revoked the old, vulnerable binary as part of its Patch Tuesday update for January 2025. But here's the thing. When the reloader.efi binary is executed during boot, it searches for the presence of the cloak.dat file on the EFI system partition and loads the embedded UEFI application from the file in a very unsafe way, completely ignoring any integrity checks, thus bypassing UEFI Secure Boot. This raises an essential question. Are we doing enough to prevent these types of attacks, or are we just reacting to them after they happen? Another aspect where HybridPetya and NotPetya differ is that unlike the latter's destructive capabilities, the newly identified artifact allows the threat actors to reconstruct the decryption key from the victim's personal installation keys. Telemetry data from ESET indicates no evidence of HybridPetya being used in the wild. However, the cybersecurity company also pointed out the recent discovery of a UEFI Petya Proof-of-Concept (POC) by security researcher Alexandra Hashawazade-Doniak, adding, "It's possible there could be some relationship between the two cases." But what do you think? Do you believe that HybridPetya is a significant threat, or is it just another example of a proof-of-concept attack? Share your thoughts in the comments below. HybridPetya is now at least the fourth publicly known example of a real or proof-of-concept UEFI bootkit with UEFI Secure Boot bypass functionality. Joining Black Lotus, Bootkitty, and the Hyper-V backdoor POC. This shows that Secure Boot bypasses are not just possible, they're becoming more common and attractive to both researchers and attackers. As we move forward in this ever-evolving landscape of cybersecurity threats, it's essential to stay informed and adapt to the latest developments. Found this article interesting? Follow us on Google News, Twitter, and LinkedIn to read more exclusive content we post.